You are now listening to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, episode 229, recorded on December 11th, 2016, brought to you by Frigid Blast Studios. And welcome to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, your home for quarter-munching fun. And I'm fast approaching my destiny of hitting the maximum light level. My name is Stephen Boss, that Art Boss Man.
Remember when video games came out and their story was complete when they came out? Pepperidge Farm remembers. I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingsley.
Okay. I believe Pepperidge Farm also remembers a time when bread was bread. And you made it with a giant stone that was turned by water wheels.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, I'll bet. Okay. So that's obviously related to something.
Yeah, something I'll talk about later. Rant about later.
Ooh, I look forward to said rant.
Yeah.
I guess we didn't play too much in the way of games this week, huh?
Well, that's where the rant's going to come in.
You're busy. You're busy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got some stuff in. I got a decent amount of stuff in, but, you know, I was trying to play something major, and...
Yeah.
And by the time I was like, okay, I have a night that I'm not working my second job... Everything's installed. The 3 flipping patches that came out for it. Okay, we're gonna play this major game, and what do you? F it! Return sealed guide. Trade game in. I'll play it in a year.
That sounds about right. So how about we just get straight into that, because I really want to hear it.
Okay, alright, fine.
So let's get into our now playing so I can hear that rant. Alright, so what's the deal? What's going on here?
Okay, well, you flipped how I was going to do it, but
we can reverse order. That's fine.
Yeah, we're reverse ordering here. So, alright. So this week, starting PlayStation 4, I played the demo for the long released months ago Final Fantasy 15 Platinum demo.
Okay. And that entailed what?
That was some side story of Noctis as a kid, and like I don't know if it ties to Kingsglaive maybe, which I own but I haven't watched yet. It was like this Kingdom Hearts wannabe thing where he was trapped in his own dream, and like this statue of the carbuncle, you know, that's been a summon in different Final Fantasy games. Well, it was trying to help him wake up, and the kingdom was under attack while he was asleep. Or it was this weird dream thing.
Okay, and I think I vaguely remember seeing this somewhere.
Yeah, it came out at E3, and I just never got around to playing it. And you were supposed to play it before you played 15. I don't know if there was a set day you had to do it by, but you were supposed to play it before you played Final Fantasy 15, and it unlocked the Carbuncle summon.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, you know, I need to play this. It's like an hour-ish long, and like I said, it's like Kingdom Hearts meets Final Fantasy, except you only have the one character.
Yeah.
You kind of go around. You even have the part where you shrink to microscopic size, and you have to fight your way through a giant dining room. And, you know, it's a forgettable thing that, you know, gives you an idea of what the camera controls in combat sort of like in 15. And it's like, okay, you know, all right, I did this thing. And supposedly, I guess I get this stuff when I play the game. Okay, whatever. That was all the time I had that night.
Yeah.
And I had started downloading patch number, which was really the second patch. Remember when they delayed this game, when they delayed Final Fantasy 15 by 2 months because, we want the day one patch built into the game?
Yeah.
And then you had a patch come out the weekend before the game came out. And then a second patch came out. And everybody was trying to download, and it was super slow, even when I put the PS4 in rest mode. And then the third patch came out because they were adding some more stuff in, and it was like, okay, all right, they were adding some scenes from Kingsglaive and this, and it was like, okay, fine, whatever. So because I got my copy of Final Fantasy 15 at GameStop, I got a side downloadable game that, as far as I know, has not been released yet to the general public. And it has trophies and achievements. The only way to own this game currently, I'm sure it'll come out later on for everyone else, but the only way to own this game right now is to buy Final Fantasy 15 from GameStop.
Okay.
So I booted up A King's Tale, Final Fantasy 15.
All right, and what exactly is this?
It is a 16-bit side-scrolling, I would say beat 'em up, but hack 'em up, because, you have sword and magic and whatnot. So
swords and weapons,
it's a 16-bit side-scrolling, slash, hack and slash 'em up, where you play as, Noctis's father. And the setup of this game is very similar to, Princess Bride. I mean, Noctis is a kid. Dad, you've read all these old fairy tales. Tell me something from when you were younger. Tell me a story about you. And so he starts telling the story about how he defended the kingdom. It's basically Noctis's father's, tale. And eventually I've got the first it's basically a story about Noctis's father and his group of buddies.
Okay.
And eventually, as you play through this game, you unlock the other 3 buddies of Noctis's father that I assume show up in Kingsglaive as well. Which again, I own, but I haven't
that's a big assumption.
Okay, this is tying into Noctis.
You can't assume anything anymore with Final Fantasy 15.
Well, right, but
just because of how piecemeal everything is.
Right. So, this is a story about him defending the kingdom, and he meets up with his friends, and him and his friends overcome all the odds, and blah, 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 blah. Like I said, 16-bit art style. Mm-hmm. It's, a Streets of Rage, Final Fight, Double Dragon style game, except you're using swords and magic instead of fists. And it's all about, you switch up you have a light and heavy attack, and you do them in combos, a la Devil May Cry / Bayonetta / God of War style, and certain enemies are weaker to certain combo hits. And then you have the flans, which are only weak to magic, but you have to use the opposing magic depending on what color the flan is.
So it kind of takes a note from the full game.
Yes. I mean, it's the enemy, it's similar type enemies you would be fighting in the regular game plus flans, and, just all. And like I said, I played it for about an hour. I got to the 3rd level, and I've got the first party member. When your combo gets high enough, you can call in the party member to either do some, to take some shots to extend the combo further, or there's an ultimate where basically you and your partner do big attacks together.
Yeah.
Like I said, just kind of a standard little fare. I'll be interested to see what this release, because I imagine that this has to come out later for everyone. I assume this is going to be some type of $10, $15 downloadable thing. It's probably not worth $15, $10. If you're wanting more Final Fantasy 15 or more stuff that deals with Noctis's father, it was a nice bonus. It's a lot better than a sword, it's much better than a sword that's obsolete once you get to level 3, which is what the Masamune sword in the day 1 edition. It's like, yeah, once you get past level 3, the thing's junk.
Okay.
So it's a nicer bonus than you would get at other places.
Yeah. All right.
So here and go, this last Wednesday night, Wednesday would have been the 7th. I, not working my other job, that third damn patch, all the patches are installed, everything's installed. All right, let's, because I had to open the game up to install everything, of course. Yep. So, let's boot this up. Let's unwrap the strategy guide. Let's boot this up and let's get going.
Yeah, that's another thing that's really weird with PS4, that it has to actually install after you launch the game.
No, everything was fully installed. I mean, but this being a single player game, they're adding on all this. Oh, we got to add in these cutscenes. We got to add in this content, this story content. So it's like, okay, are you guys done yet? Are you done yet? Okay, you're done, and I've got time to play this. So let's go.
Well, they're only done for the moment.
Right, except earlier that day, before I got home, this was my plan. Wednesday night was to come and do this. Then Wednesday afternoon, Square Enix comes out, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to detail, let's not detail the season pass that we were trying to sell for this game, which we still only know vague things about. This is done so well, and the fans have supported it so much. Let's detail the next year and free updates to Final Fantasy 15. More story updates, more, because the story is apparently vague. So we got to throw in more story, which we will announce details of those at a later date, but it'll be in 2016. And then it's like, oh, well, there's this one chapter that every single review says sucks and horrible and drags down the whole game. So we're going to tweak that, and we'll talk about that later, but that's going to be in 2016.
They're going to do it this month?
Or 2017, sorry,
okay.
2017. I'm years messed up rant.
Yeah, I know.
Have to call. Hold on.
All right. So I take it you're not going to be playing the game for a while.
No, because Colin Moriarty, from former IGN and now Kind of Funny fame, I mean, he went on this, and because Kind of Funny has fostered, this rabid PlayStation fan base, they just went and attacked Colin so much that Colin said, yeah, Facebook Kind of Funny group, yeah, you're all poisonous. As poisonous as any other group on the internet. I'm out. Peace.
Okay.
I mean, he just got lit up by Final Fantasy fanboys and fangirls when he was like, well, this game's not complete. You all bought this game day 1, and they're not even done with the damn game. I mean, look at how...
I can understand minor things like balancing certain things, like, okay, maybe this enemy does have a little bit more health than we intended him to have for where you'd be level-wise and kind of thing.
Or like Witcher did, and I mean, they tweaked the menu system to where it is now, and that's fine. Even like the chapter... the chapter 13, I think it's chapter 13 that's the bad one. It's either 12 or 13, I forget. Whichever one it is. But
it would be ironic if it was 13.
Yeah, I'd have to look up the story, but...
thinly veiled Final Fantasy 13 joke.
Right, I got it. That is funny. But I mean, it's just like, remember what happened with Mass Effect? And then Colin was on the opposite side of it, and I didn't agree with him on it, but he was defending BioWare till the cows come home, and I think he was really, like, people were being harsh at him, but he was being really harsh back, and it was like, well, if you hated any of Fat Mass Effect 3, you just... I think he's on the wrong side of history on that, and that's fine.
Well, I had respect for the way they wanted to end it versus the fact that they went back and changed that.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. I mean, all the stuff came out about, well, the head writer, one of the head writers for the series, they pulled him off of Mass Effect and put him on Old Republic, and, the writing process used to be this public, but no, the entire end of the game, the head writer and Casey Hudson would go into a closed room and nobody knew the ending of the game until the game was pressed or whatever. And the one other writer at BioWare was ranting on Penny Arcade's forums like we didn't know what the ending to our own game was, and and all this crap. And then the firestorm that happened, and EA's, this was the start of the EA's the worst company in America. That was like, this led to them getting out of.
I don't know that was the start.
It was a flashpoint because the next year EA won that award for the first time, which they didn't deserve that. There's a lot of other worse things, but
at that point, no, they were cleaning up their act at that point.
Well, no, it's just there's a lot worse companies out there than EA.
Well, that's what I mean. EA was doing better than a lot of other companies.
Well,
i.e. Rockstar.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, with what, like, places, like Sears or, Bank of America, there are a lot worse companies in America doing legitimately bad stuff to people than, like
this Wells Fargo.
Well, yeah, that's a more timely reference, but I'm trying to reference back then. But exactly, that type of stuff is what should be up for that consumerist award, not what EA does, unless EA just intentionally leaked a bunch of personal info or something. That type of stuff, not, they made BioWare rush this game out and it, people didn't like it and they don't like their DLC policy, but, it's just, and some people just don't like, Witcher. Well, what about Witcher? And Witcher's story was done. Like, the story never changed on Witcher with the very, the patches were just tweaking things.
Yeah.
Yes, they had 2 expansions, but those were expansions that came out after the fact. Just, like a lot of other games used to, and a lot of games still do, today, just in small chunks.
They didn't alter the core story.
Right. This is altering the story, and they're adding even more scenes from the movie, and it's just...
Well, apparently they thought that, people are just going to go seek out this Kingsglaive movie and watch it before they play the game.
Well, right,
because why wouldn't everyone do that?
Why didn't everybody buy the deluxe edition of the game that came with it, or the separate retail release of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't watched the movie yet. I'm going to watch it at some point. But like Pat from the Two Best Friends Play, he had a tweet today. It's like, man, that is Kingsglaive is, he didn't like Kingsglaive, and let me get the
exact quote.
The exact quote here. Man, Kingsglaive is effing terrible and weirdly important to the FF15 plot. What the crap? And and he had a tweet 8 hours later. Okay, so I got Kingsglaive and I got Brotherhood and I got Final Fantasy 15. The F order should I do this in? Seriously?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because let's go even further down the rabbit hole on this. Because so Kingsglaive comes out like, I think digitally like August, and it was in select theaters, like Chicago, San Francisco, Seattle, whatever.
Yeah.
It was in like 6 cities, and then, it's digital, and then a retail release came out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yet Best Buy had the retail release that was Steelbook, and it had not only the Kingsglaive movie, but this Brotherhood anime, which was also, that also came out in August. This Brotherhood anime, which is actually about Noctis and how he meets his friends. Like, that's how, from what I gathered,
okay.
That's how all that sets up.
So they don't actually put any of that in the game?
No, well, I guess they are now. I guess they are now because they're doing all this stuff for the next year. But yeah, so here's the thing. So that anime was digital only. The only way to own a physical copy of that anime is either this Best Buy Steelbook release or the $300 whatever it was collector's edition of Final Fantasy 15. Because the $90 limited edition is the game and the Kingsglaive movie, not the Brotherhood anime. Don't even throw in a damn download code for it.
That doesn't... why? Why would they do this?
I would love to know. So yeah, I'm gonna watch this Brotherhood and Kingsglaive, and you know what? I returned the strategy guide, which was still sealed. I put it towards pre-orders of games coming out this fall or this spring, late winter, this pre-March, that, oh my gosh, they're actually going to have complete stories when they come out.
Fingers crossed. Because you never know. You never know.
I trust the Tales team a hell of a lot more than I trust Square Enix.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah. Except for all that lovely pay DLC that they always put in.
Okay, fine. You can ignore it unless you just...
I'm just saying,
I'll never
that's
live that down.
weird thing that they do.
That's fine.
That is really annoying. I'm just saying, that just annoys the hell out of me when they do that.
Okay. But
yes, complete story from start to finish.
Complete story, because you don't hear any complaints about the story about it and everybody, the word on the street in Japan is that this is the best Tales game since Vesperia, so.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes. That's the buzz.
Okay.
So. But, I mean, that, or Horizon Zero, like, I have Horizon Zero Dawn Collector's Edition and Tales of Berseria Collector's Edition paid off.
Now, Horizon, that's a game I'm super freaking into.
And I'm starting to pay off Persona. And then that just...
And, of course, Persona's looking really good, except for the fact that it moved away from February.
That's fine. It's the first week of April. What worries me is these rumors that Mass Effect is March 21st. So I can't handle Mass Effect and
the Switch and Tales.
The Switch
or
and
Persona, I mean.
And Switch can wait.
Well, we'll see. We don't know anything about what's coming out for it yet. At least day one.
There ain't a Fire Emblem. Well, I shouldn't say that.
You shouldn't say anything because we know nothing at the moment about what their lineup is going to
be. They're just releasing it the wrong. They're just going to have to wait. It's going to have to wait. Unless there's a damn limited edition version of the system with Fire Emblem on it. I'm more interested in the last 3 damn amiibos. Give me my last 3 Smash amiibos. That's what I'm more worried about. But anyway,
all right.
Yes, I am worried that this persistent rumor that, well, the Mass Effect 3 Dark Horse book comes out March 21st. That must be when the game comes out. So now we're going to have freaking game, and I don't want Mass Effect and Persona within 2 weeks of each other. And then there's South Park somewhere in there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Mass Effect could easily be a May game. Just be in May. There's nothing else in May right now. Just go to May.
It could be late April, too, if they really wanted to.
There's always a major game in May. I mean, it was Witcher 2 years ago, and Splatoon, but Witcher. You had...
Don't downplay Splatoon. Come on, just because you don't like their control scheme.
Did I just admit that it was a major game? Okay.
Yeah, but you were really down on it.
Yes, I was.
Come on.
I still don't like it. But...
Again, just because you don't like fun
I don't
doesn't mean it's bad.
No, that's fine. It was really successful for Nintendo. Nintendo, I mean, it was super successful for Nintendo. So, I mean, they made a new IP, which is the successful one, which is a lot more than most other companies could say in the last 10 years. So,
Yeah. Well,
bravo to them.
At least companies that have been around for a very long time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, BioWare got two, new IPs, and there's been a lot. It's been like since 2007. Well, outside of like Last of Us, like all the major new IPs started around like 07, 06, 07, and we're still riding those IPs.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
The Assassin's Creed, Witcher, Uncharted, Call of Duty. Well, I mean, Call of Duty started earlier, but that was the
they were around for a long time.
Well, that was the fourth game, but that's the one that skyrocketed.
Right, yeah. That's the one that set the formula for the past
9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but
I'm guessing it's going to be 10 years, because at this point, we all know.
Well, yeah, I mean, Activision doesn't have anything left. Like, supposedly, Skylanders, this is it. Like, Skylanders didn't sell, which Skylanders has never sold great pre-Black Friday, but supposedly the rumor going around, this is the last Skylanders.
Well, I mean, they keep pushing and pushing every year. Why? You can't sustain an every single year game. Unless it's a sports game, and even then.
Yeah, because, I mean, look, like, I'm buying baseball for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah.
Because of the Griffey edition. So, the collector's edition, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, I mean, really, Activision, all they have left is Call of Duty and Destiny. And then I heard another rumor from somebody, there's like 5 studios working to get Destiny 2 done by next fall.
Well, they added in, God, I forgot the name of the studio, but yeah, they just announced that, one of the Activision studios is helping out. The rumor going around is that it's for the port to the PC.
Wow.
But
I heard another one that's just to get the damn sequel out. So, what?
Well, one of the companies that works for Activision is designing armor for Destiny, which, sure, why not? More armor is always fun. So, I have a feeling it's probably helping out with porting either from one console to another or porting to the PC, which they haven't done in a very, very long time.
Okay. All right, but
I swear the studio starts with an S.
It's not Sledgehammer.
No, it's not Sledgehammer. Something else that starts with an
anyway,
S.
there are things out there about it. So, but oh gosh, I don't know how it's from Square Enix to this. All right, so to wrap this up, basically, yeah, I traded in Final Fantasy 15. I returned my sealed strategy guide. I put that towards pre-orders. I have my next 2 games fully paid. Well, my next 3 games fully paid off because, and we'll get into it later with the Game Awards and Halo 2's Wars 2's announcement. But so my next 2 retail games I have paid off. So now I just have to work on paying off this Persona, Mass Effect, MLB, South Park glut that's all within a nebulous amount of time of each other. I have Berseria and Horizon paid off, so. Alright.
Alright, I just quick looked it up. It's High Moon Studios.
Oh, okay. Oh, High Moon. Oh, yeah. My.
Transformers developers.
Well, I know him from Darkwatch. That's what I was thinking of. It's Darkwatch.
Darkwatch?
Yes, that was the vampire western shooter, first-person shooter. Capcom published it.
Wow, that was a long time ago that I didn't even think of that.
That's how I know him.
Jeez. Yeah, well, they're more known for all their Transformers games that they did on the most recent consoles.
Because Activision bought them.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I'll play Final Fantasy 15. Will be Christmas next year. The game will be $20, and I'll buy it then.
Hey, it sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, and I'm on the strategy guide because it's piggyback, and they don't do digital versions of the strategy guide, and all the Final Fantasy strategy guides go through the roof. I'm just waiting. My GameStop is loaded with them, and every single year they do a 50% off sale right after Christmas or New Year's. So whenever that sale happens, I'll go back and I'll buy the guide and I'll just keep it. Because like even your Lightning, I looked it up, even the Lightning Returns strategy guide used goes for over $50 now. Every single Final Fantasy guide goes up.
Which, that just baffles me to no end, but yeah, sure.
Because they're not available digitally. Piggyback doesn't do digital guides. They only do physical.
You can get everything you need out of those guides elsewhere online.
All right.
But yeah,
and the thing we will never agree on.
Yeah, I know. But quick thing. Speaking of Final Fantasy, was it World of Final Fantasy? Was that the
Yes, that's the Pokemon kind of one. Yes,
the Pokemon wannabe, but actually looks kind of awesome because now I actually watched a quick look of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of jealous that it's exclusive to PS4 and Vita.
Yeah.
Because I would actually play that. Because it looks that fun.
I've been waiting for it. So the PS4 version went on sale for Black Friday, but not a price drop on the Vita version, because I just feel like I'm going to play that on Vita more than I would on PlayStation.
I would take it any way I could get it. Right.
Well, I have the luxury of waiting, so.
All right.
I will wait for a cheaper price.
Okay.
All right. So moving on. I'm going to go into a bunch of card stuff because I wanted to keep it all together. So we're going to start with Magic the Gathering.
All right.
I have not done well in Magic the Gathering online drafts.
Oh.
Because I haven't had time to play physical Magic that much, so I have done, over the course of the last couple months, I have done 5 drafts with Magic the Gathering Online.
All right.
And Magic the Gathering Online, it's all about the event tickets and packs and stuff. And essentially, if you start from scratch, you need to buy 12 event tickets to play a Magic the Gathering Online draft, and that's going to cost you $12 because the event ticket costs $1.
Okay.
Now they have drafts, friendly level drafts that are you can play as much as all 3 rounds, but they go 8 packs, 4 packs, 2 packs, 2 packs. So you essentially have to finish 2 and 1 to get either 2 or 4 packs. I mean, it just depends. If you win your first 2 and then lose the third, you'll finish second place in the pod and get 4 packs. If you lose 1, win 1, lose 1, you're going to finish either third or fourth and you get 2 packs. The alternate cost to getting into a draft is 3 packs and 2 event tickets. So therefore, let's say for example you go 2 and 1 and get 2 packs, your next draft is only going to cost you $6.
Okay,
because
bad.
You'll take your 2 prize packs, buy a third, and buy 2 event tickets. You've only spent $6 and you have your entry into your next draft.
Right.
So I've done 5 drafts. I've gone 1 and 2 4 times and 2 and 1 once.
It's okay.
Yeah, not great. Not great. And I mean, I talked about some sealed, PPTQs I'd done, and I really like Kaladesh, but I'm not getting the results I did in the Shadows block. Yesterday I went to the last sealed PPTQ and kind of the last PPTQs in the St. Louis area for a good while. I went to a sealed one, and found an old friend, versus people may remember. Although those of you in the Facebook group didn't respond to my post about it, I'm a little kind of perturbed about it, but whatever. Scott Elliott is in town. One of the former Versus System, Upper Deck, executives and, all around good guy. I mean, he's been in tabletop gaming for decades now. He was at this PPTQ.
Well, the fact that he was an executive means I wouldn't have remembered him at all.
Okay, well, I do, because I guess I was around those people, more, because I was always, riding with the judges and, going to pastime stuff with Alan, working pastime stuff with Alan, the owner of Pastimes, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe I know him better, but yeah. I feel that the old time Versus people would remember that name, but maybe not. But anywho, so I got to get destroyed by him in round 1, and he actually ended up winning the sealed PPTQ. He did not lose a single match all day.
Wow.
So he got his RPTQ invite, and I went 0-3 and dropped. And like the guy that was registering my pool at these events, and then my Nemesis events, who was there with his friends, but he couldn't play because he'd already won his RPTQ invite. They're just looking at my pool as it's being registered, and it's just like, oh my god, this is so great. And I'm just like, well, I know I'm black because I opened the Black Gear Hulk, but I really didn't see a good mesh in red or... So then, like, okay, well, here's all my black cards. Okay, let's set these aside. And then what other color am I going to be? And I'm sitting there like, well, I've got Unlicensed Disintegration, which is a great card. And I've got all these low red drops, but I have no mid-game other than removal spells if I don't. But okay, so here I have this green, and or then I go, well, I have white here. I have 3 drops, but white's not really giving me anything else other than 3 drops. Okay, let me go. Okay, green. Wow. Let's see here. Green adds me a 2-drop, a 3-drop. But this 3-drop needs energy to be really good. Well, I could put in these two crappy 2-cost green cards that give me a bunch of energy, but I've got 4 costs and 5 cost cards, and these will be great. And I have more of a curve now, so okay, I'll go green black. And
so I'm thinking you probably should have went red black.
Yeah, that's what Scott thought too. So I had a transformative sideboard. I literally, like the next 2 matches, the minute I lost game 1, I took out all the green cards and forests and put in the mountains and the red cards and it was more competitive in those games, but it's just a day of mana screws and mana floods, whether I was green black or red black.
Yeah.
So it was like 0-3 drop, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to watch Scott's 3rd round match here, which he won, but him and his opponent both forgot that the character that got trampled over for the last points of damage had lifelink. So they had a little mess up there.
Would it have changed the outcome or no?
Well, yeah, the game shouldn't have been over, but they had both scooped up their cards. And the dude standing next to me was like, what about the lifelink? And they both looked at each other and forgot that the 2/3 flying dwarf has lifelink.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but they just got warnings because you can't repair the game state. They shuffled up their decks.
Yeah.
At that point. So.
Yep.
But anyway, so I said he has a new game coming out. By the time you hear this, it's been out a new tabletop game called Dragon Maze Mine. I think that was the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to... He was demoing it to some people. I didn't get to watch it. I didn't get to see it be demoed. Let's see here, because my post is fairly high up here. Dragonstone Mine, excuse me, Dragonstone Mine.
Right.
So he has that game coming out, and he's part of the group that runs Gen Con. So,
okay.
yeah, like I said, he's done. He's been in games, in board games, tabletop games forever. So,
Okay.
but anyway, I found out this morning that he won the RPTQ or the PPTQ. So, congrats to him.
Yeah.
I'm glad for him, but at the same time, my nemesis in those things was already qualified. He couldn't play. It's like, okay, this is my chance. And I just bombed out.
Yeah. Well, next time. It's always next time.
Yeah. There is, but there's not going to be...
Sealed is always rough.
Yeah, but it's just I don't have a competitive, I haven't spent, right now, standard is pretty much 3 decks.
Mm-hmm.
And the deck that I have is a fun, it's a fairly competitive deck. It's probably not going to top 8. And the problem is it's getting ready to get wrecked by a new black rare in the next set.
Mm-hmm.
So remember the Languish card that's -4/-4 to everything? It's from Magic. It's from Magic Origins, which, I mean, you might
wouldn't have seen it then. No.
Okay. Well, it's in duels. It's from the Magic Origins set, so it's from the first set.
I probably wouldn't have seen it though necessarily.
All right. It's a sorcery. It's black 2 sorcery. All creatures get -4/-4.
Yeah, that seems a little bit ridiculously costed.
Okay, so we have a new one coming out in Aether Revolt. Same mana cost. All creatures get -3/-3, and you may cast a card with mana cost 3 or less from your hand for free.
Why?
That's my thought.
What? Why? Why would you break the game? Why would you not add more cost to that?
That's kind of what I thought, but...
Add a third black necessary to cast that minimum.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Wow, that is ridiculously low cost for that effect.
Yeah. So it's just like any aggro deck is just screwed, so I don't know what I'm going to have.
I mean, unless you got giant creatures, yeah.
Right. Or your vehicles, but all your creatures that could pilot the vehicles are all dead, so...
Yeah. Good lord.
Yeah.
Well, I guess blue decks are going to have to be on point, huh?
Well, yeah, that's kind of... Well, I mean, right now it's blue-white Flash, black-green Delirium, and Aetherworks Marvel. That's the 3 decks.
All right. Well, like I said, next time.
Yeah. But anyway, so there's
speaking of cards.
Yeah. Moving on. I've played some Magic duels. Okay. This next one. I've transitioned to Xbox One to finish up here.
Mm-hmm.
You were playing some free-to-play card game a few episodes back. Was it Lies of Asteroth?
No.
Okay. Because I was like, did Steven talk about this? And I just, I had forgotten that this is the one he talked about.
No. Okay. I'd never even heard of it till now.
Okay, so this is a free-to-play card game on the Xbox One.
Okay.
It's not much of a card game. It's got anime girls all over it, so I was like, okay, let's just see what this is.
Ah. Okay. And
it's this game where it's basically war with added effects. So, you have their values on the cards, and you have, so many cards in your deck. You only start off with like 3, and you eventually get 4, and like I'm up to where I could have 5 cards, and they all have a cost, so your deck can only cost so much depending on your level.
Right.
And they have an attack, an HP, and they may have effects.
This is sounding like super familiar, as in it sounds very, very much like the card game that was in Rage.
Okay. Could be, since I never played Rage. So basically what happens, there is a puzzle quest like, old school puzzle quest like campaign, except it's strictly linear. You choose a male or female avatar, and
Right.
you go from area to area, and you have these fights. And randomly determines who goes first, and you draw a card from your deck. Now, once you draw the card from the deck, depending on its cost, you either have to wait 1 or 2 turns to be able to play it. So the entire strategy of the game is, what cards do I have in my deck? When do I play said card? And the luck of the draw and what cards face against what. Because when you play the card out, the card attacks either the card directly in front of it or the opponent directly. And basically you do that until both players have played out all their cards, and either you or the opposing player or all the creature cards on one side have been defeated.
Yeah, it definitely has some similarities to the card game in Rage.
Okay, so they just fight each other until... It's also a little bit Yu Yu Hakusho, the actual TCG of that. Not exactly, but close.
I never played that one.
Because the cards can only fight whoever's directly across from them. And once a card is defeated, the next one falls in line. And like I said, you can wait. So like generally you would play a creature out immediately, absorb the hits and play out 2 creatures at once. Or you could absorb some hits and play out your stronger, like I said, depending on the cost of the card, you have to wait either 1 turn to be able to play it after you draw it, or 2 turns.
Yeah.
And like I said, these cards just attack once a turn. Depending on their level, they may have a special ability. Like, there's some that will heal, there's some that will deal direct damage to cards, and then still fight. They all have various effects.
Yeah. Alright.
And then, the part of the game where they try to get you to pay is where the best card packs cost crystals, and you have to buy crystals.
Right, yeah. Because, why not?
Yeah. So, you can earn gold that lets you buy packs of weaker cards, or you'll get these tickets that let you get 1 stronger card. But if you want the packs that have all stronger cards, they cost the crystals.
I'm starting to wonder if the game you thought that I was playing that was this was Gems of War?
Maybe. I thought a couple episodes ago you talked about a card game on Xbox One.
No, the only card game that I remember playing recently was Magic Duels.
Okay.
A very, very long time ago I played, Might and Magic card game on PC.
There was some free-to-play game you played on Xbox One. I just couldn't...
Well, that was Gems of War then.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, so it had anime girls on it. I wanted to see what it was about. It's not horrible, but it's not great.
Okay.
There are better options. Like, if you got into the closed beta, finally, for Gwent, the Witcher card game.
Yeah, I guess I didn't get in.
Well, if you applied and didn't get in, you need to, because I tweeted at Gwent, like, hey, I applied the week of E3 when you announced this, and I never got in, and you said everybody that applied before the end of June was supposed to be in, and then they're like, okay, well, you have to fill out this form on the website, and they're like, well, we sent it to you. I'm like, I've checked my spam and my inbox like every day, and they're like, okay, here's a new code. So if you applied, I would, contact the Gwent, is it Play Gwent, I think, on Twitter, and they will give you a reference number and a website to file a trouble ticket. Or Play, and I've got at Play Gwent on Twitter. Send them a tweet, be like, hey, I applied X date and never got an invite, and they'll give you like a support thing.
Okay.
So, alright, so they have tweaked a lot of things with Gwent. First off, some of the mechanics of the game. Now, if you remember originally, there was still, it was 10 cards. You could shuffle 2 back in the deck and draw 2 new ones. But that was it. So other than the spy cards, you never drew any more cards. And the spy cards were all overpowered crazy.
Okay.
Well, because, the best spy card was a legendary one that gave the opponent no attack and you drew 2 cards. It's like, oh, here's the mysterious elf card. It goes on your side of the field. It has 0 attack, but I get to draw 2 cards. Or Dykstra, where it'd be like, okay, here you can have Dykstra. He's got 4 attack, but I get 2 cards. So, yeah. So, it was just crazy. So they've reworked the way Gwent works in that after round 1, each player draws 2 cards. And after round 2, each player draws 1 card.
Okay.
And also the spies are all way more balanced now. Because, I had a spy played against me a game this week where they drew 2 and I drew 1. And I got a character with so much attack power.
Right.
So they're much, much more balanced now.
Okay.
So the other things are, so right now you have to earn ore to buy 1 pack. Like 1 pack costs 100 ore. And right now, the tutorial gives you some stuff. And I think every patch they do, they give you enough ore for a free pack. And the packs are interesting because they'll be 4, common level cards or so in the keg. They're all in kegs because the troll is the one that sells them. Right. And then the 5th card, you actually get to pick one of 3. It'll be like, okay, here's these 3 rare, or legendary whatever cards. You get to pick which one you want. And it also shows how many you already have in your collection. So it's like, well, I want to get this card that I don't have yet, or I want to get another one of this card because it's the deck I play.
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool. While the game is in closed beta, you can buy kegs. You can spend anywhere from, it's $2 to $60 for kegs of cards. While the game is in closed beta, when it goes to open release, you do not keep the cards once it rotates but any kegs you open will be refunded.
Oh, okay.
So, if you spend the 50, 60, whatever it is, dollars and get the 60 kegs of cards, when it gets out of closed beta and it hits its full release, you don't keep those cards, but you just get all the kegs refunded.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Also on Xbox One, there is crossplay.
That's for PC?
Yes, Xbox One and PC. So I can play PC players. And PC players can play Xbox One players, etc. That's okay. A toggle.
That's good.
Yeah. So I can actually play. There's no, friend matchmaking, I don't think yet. But, I think Scott has got this on PC, so I can play him even though I'm playing on Xbox.
Okay.
But it's just great. And the tweaks to the rules were needed to make this a more competitive game. And I can see this really taking off once it gets out of closed beta.
It sounded fun when you were talking about it back when you were playing Witcher.
Yeah. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm catching a cold here.
You're not the only one who's got some troubles breathing at the moment.
All right, so I highly recommend if you applied for the Gwent beta, didn't get in, send their Twitter account a tweet, and depending on when you signed up, they will, have you fill out a trouble ticket about why you're not in. Get in this; it's really awesome.
Okay.
All right, I played very little Madden 17. I've just been playing their weekly Team of the Week challenge to get enough Team of the Week collectibles to get a Team of the Year player when that comes out. Although they did introduce a nice little thing where they've been doing challenges, and as you improve the overall level of your team, you get free packs. It was all retroactive, so I got a bunch of free packs. And then I bought 2 of their paid packs that were all players with a specific chemistry, and I've got my team all the way up to an 86 rank, where it was like 81 when we last recorded.
Okay.
So that
Not
was
bad.
cool. Yep. And then I downloaded over last weekend and finally got a chance to play it, and I only got 30 minutes, but I got to play the 30-minute trial for Recore.
So that's where it stops, 30 minutes in?
Yeah. Wherever you're at 30 minutes in, it stops and it's like, oh, you can buy this now to continue. But you get all the achievements. Like all the achievements I got so far show up.
So it kind of functions the same way a free weekend would.
Yeah, it was on free weekend, but I didn't play it until like Tuesday night. I think that's what I did Tuesday night. And it was like, okay, you only have 30 minutes. So maybe if I played it actually during the weekend, it would have been longer. I don't know. I didn't play it until after the weekend, and when I booted it up, it said I had 30 minutes. So I played 30 minutes of it.
Okay.
And, I mean, it was a fun little game. I have a lot of trouble getting the cores out once we got out of the tutorial area, where it seemed like the cores were just kind of automatic. I was having trouble figuring out the colors and how to rotate the stick and everything to get this stuff. But, it's just, it seems like a decent little game. Even with it on sale, it seems like a fun little platforming game. I didn't really have a death, so I did experience extremely long load times in starting the game up. So I don't know if those have really gotten any better. But it's a fun little platformer, action game, and it's worth your time if you're wanting something that's not M-rated to buy the kids for Christmas. It's on sale this week, I know, at GameStop and a bunch of other places. So, it's worth taking a look at. It seems like a decent little game. It's not earth-shattering by any means, but it looks fun.
Yeah, just be aware that once you hit the final dungeon, you're going to have to go and collect all the cores. Every single one, if you want to finish the game.
Okay. Like I said, I remember Brad talking about stuff, but I didn't remember all of it, so.
That's the one thing that sticks in my mind is, all those collectibles that you think are optional, they're not.
Alright. So another reason why I'm not going to buy it, I'm just going to wait for it to be a Games with Gold, because eventually it will be.
Well, because it's a first-party game, probably.
Yeah. Alright, so that's all I've been played. Steven...
I guess technically it's second-party, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess technically, yeah. It's not made by Microsoft-owned studio, but Microsoft paid for it, so...
Yeah.
Alright. That's it for me, Steven played.
Okay, I guess my stuff's gonna be pretty quick. I played a tiny little bit of Fire Emblem Fates Birthright, just enough to go through a couple challenge maps, and that's about it. Didn't advance the story anymore yet, or anything else at all. The only thing I actually did was get one of my crew's relationship rank to S. So now they are married. That is it. Alright, so then we'll hit PC for Heroes of the Storm, which was the only thing I was playing on PC. Played a couple matches on Heroes of the Storm, running through some of the daily quests, getting some gold. That's about it. Alright, so then we'll hit over to Xbox One. Yeah, not much really new. Just played a lot more Overwatch. And leveled up. Got a bunch more loot boxes and unlocked a bunch more costumes and sprays and voice lines and poses and victory screen poses and stuff. Not much else really other than that. Was playing a lot more brawls though. Other than that, really not much. Played some more Titanfall 2 earlier in the week as well. It continues to be fun and continues to have the same issues that I mentioned last episode. So it still continues to be much better than any of the Call of Duties in the past recent years. Because, it actually plays well. Zing! So, other than the little bit of Titanfall 2, yeah, not really much else. Yeah, so I guess the last thing I was playing was some Destiny Iron Banner. Because Iron Banner is where you go when you know you want some serious competition, and, well, that isn't Trials. And also when you want to get some gear that's kind of fun and really, really ridiculously good stats as well. Because man, oh man, the past Iron Banners since they started up with the new expansion, they have had some seriously good gear. All their gear has been really, really high stat levels. Like nearly maximum stats, which is kind of crazy. I am one piece of gear away from being level 400 for light. I just need some boots. And I've hit max level once again. And then I can focus on doing the hard raid mode. And once I've done that, I kind of only need to do a couple of the things, and I've kind of done everything in Rise of Iron.
Already out of content?
Well, almost, but thankfully, this coming week offers me 3 weeks, I want to say, is the time limit of this one, for brand new content coming in Sparrow Racing League, and a new event called The Dawning, which encompasses not only Sparrow Racing League, but also a winter-themed event for the rest of the world. And they're going to add in a bunch of new content as well. Some new armor sets. They're also going to add in fully infusible Sparrow Racing League armor sets. So exactly what I was hoping for Sparrow Racing League. They're doing it. They're also adding in a bunch of new Sparrows, which is the little speed bikes that you run around on. And then they're adding in something called Strike Scoring as well. Strike Scoring is basically just the same strikes, but with a score modifier on it. So as you do different actions, it'll gain different score. So let's say you meleeed an enemy, and then you did a sick 360 no-scope on the next guy. Those will give you different amounts of points, kind of thing. I doubt the 360 no-scope will matter too much, but the fact that you hit him with a sniper rifle would. But Yeah, so if you get like multiple primary weapon kills in a row, that'll give you 1 medal. If you get multiple special weapon kills in a row, that'll give you another. And if you get a couple of heavy weapon kills in a row as well, if you get all 3 of those combined, it'll give you something called a rainbow medal, because you went through the spectrum of your weapons. They're clever like that. So, yeah, there's definitely some new content coming pretty quick, it's good, because we're kind of at the point where I might need some. But the armor being near max light level means the only thing I'm going to be doing is trying to optimize my stats again, more or less. So I'll be trying to hit for specific pieces of gear that are X stat level.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, really not much else. We're also getting 3 updated strikes in the coming week here as well. We'll be getting the new Nexus strike, which has 2 variants, the Taken variant and the normal Vex variant. We're also getting Tenix, who's going to be Siva-fied throughout the mission. So he'll have a bunch of Siva parts and stuff sticking off him, I'm guessing, at the end. And then we're also getting Omnigul.
Okay.
Omnigul is going to have a remake as well, and that's going to be Siva infused in certain areas, I'm guessing. So it's going to be a little bit more Fallen, trying to jump in and take Omnigul, I'm guessing. They've also changed how the Omnigul fight at the end of the mission actually happens as well. Whereas when you were first playing the mission, back when it came out, you could stand outside the room, and you kind of had to because there was so many enemies inside the room. It was like a flood. It's like you could barely stand without having an enemy next to you. So they toned that back down a little bit. And they've also toned down some of the intensity of the variety of enemies. So it seems like the wizards, which spawned every X amount of percentage off Omnigul's health bar that you took, it seems like those won't spawn. And it seems like yellow bars are going to be a lot less prevalent in that fight as well. So now you actually get locked inside that room instead of being able to stay outside of it. So they made it a little more balanced. Which is good, because, oh boy, it wasn't exactly balanced before. So, then they also mentioned that they were going to up the drop rates for skeleton keys, which, that's a good thing. It's kind of about it for Destiny news, and for just Destiny in general for this week, because that's all I've been playing, was a bunch of Iron Banner for the most part this past few days. So, let's get over into the news real quick, because we do have a couple things that we got to go through real fast.
Yeah, let's actually do NPDs first. That way they're quicker and we get them over with and get caught up on that, because we have 2 months, and by the time we record the next episode, we'll have a 3rd month.
Yeah, I guess. All right, so we'll hit the NPD numbers first.
Now it's that time of the month that causes gamers worldwide to be crabby and irrational. No, it's not PMS. It's NPD.
All right, hit me up with the numbers for the past 3 months, two months.
Well, this is September and October. November's will be out by the time you're listening to this. They're not out yet. We only know 2 things about November, but we'll deal with all that later. So this is September. Retail game sales were down 23%. Hardware was down 25%. console and handheld were down 22. Physical and Steam sales were up 3%. So now in terms of the games, how much money they made. Number 10 was Black Ops 3. Number 9, not counting digital sales, was Forza Horizon 3. Number 8, not counting digital sales or Battle.net digital sales, was Overwatch. 7th was Grand Theft Auto 5. 6 was Destiny the Collection. 5 was BioShock the Collection. 4, and then it's sports from there. 4 was NHL 17. 3 was FIFA 17. 2 was Madden 17. And number 1 was NBA 2K 17. And
Okay.
Xbox One was the number 1 console, and 3DS had its 4th consecutive month of increased hardware sales. Still riding on the Pokemon Go train.
Yeah.
And accessory sales were down 30%, which was kind of spearheaded by the Toys to Life line, was down 75%.
Yeah, those are not accessories. Those are toys.
Okay.
They're not accessories. I don't get how they consider them accessories.
Alright, so moving up to October. October retail game sales were up 6%. Hardware was down 20%. Physical console and handheld game sales were up 31%. And physical and Steam PC software sales were up 172%.
Gee, I wonder why.
Alright, so number 10 was Madden. 9 was Titanfall 2.
Okay.
8 was Civilization 6. 7 was WWE 2K17. 6 was Skyrim Remastered. 5 was NBA 2K17. 4 was FIFA. 3 was Gears of War. 2 was Mafia 3. And number 1 is Battlefield 1. Now,
so all of those games had some pretty good debuts.
Yeah,
except for Titanfall.
Yeah, except for Titanfall. All those games include digital sales except for Gears and Skyrim.
Okay.
Xbox One was again, for like the 3rd or 4th consecutive month, the number 1 selling console.
Well, they're definitely making some headway, though, that's for sure.
Although the new PS4 Slim that month was the highest individual seller of hardware, but the Microsoft sales were spread, there's one PS4 bundle, whereas there's been Halo, Madden, Minecraft, and
Gears.
4 to 6 different Gears / Battlefield bundles.
Yeah,
because
there's a ton of them.
Because you have the 500 gig special color Gears bundle at GameStop, and the 500 gig special color Battlefield at Walmart, and then you have the special color 1 terabyte Battlefield, and then you have the 1 terabyte normal Battlefield, the 1 terabyte normal Gears, and the 2 terabyte special edition Gears, and
Yeah, they make a lot of bundles. But to be fair, that's probably a good thing, because then you can pick and choose what you want.
Right. Exactly. And there is an NPD analyst who now posts on NeoGAF.
Okay.
So
that's a good thing, I'm guessing?
Yeah. I'm trying to read. Games generally, the base amount of their digital sales versus physical is 30% digital, 70% physical, although some titles sell more digitally than that. So you can say that if you see it, whatever this game ranking is, you can take solace in that at least 30% of its sales are digital. Some it's more, but generally 30%. Yeah, original Xbox One bundles are no longer selling, or they were not a primary driver of performance or pricing in October.
Gee, I wonder why.
M-rated games sell the high quality sales correlations. One of the things I've always been very interested in. M-rated RPGs show the most quality sales correlation. By the way, it's very high. Family games, not surprisingly, are the lowest. 28 to 35% or so of the variability of sales between games released on the same platform can be explained by changes in quality score depending on genre, etc. This is down a couple of points from when I looked at it back in 2012.
So I'm guessing that's what he's posted?
Yes, there's some...
that you're reading off?
Yes. These are quoted posts by him, but I was cherry picking ones there, so... And like I said, the November numbers will come out by the time you're listening to this, and we'll cover that on the next episode. Call of Duty had a huge hit to its physical sales. We don't know what what the digital sales were, and PlayStation overtook the hardware sales lead in terms of for November. They regained their spot atop the mountain for that month. And PlayStation has passed the 50 million sold mark worldwide.
Okay.
So there's
right.
NPDs.
Okay, so do we have enough time for the news then?
Yeah.
All right, let's hit the news.
And now, the latest game news from around the world.
Okay, and starting us off, we have some news from basically the two biggest events from the past couple weeks. The PlayStation Experience and the Games Awards for 2016.
Yeah.
AKA the Keeleys.
Yes. Now, I didn't get to watch the Keeleys, the Game Awards. I was working my second job. I did watch, it was after the fact, but I did watch all the PlayStation Experience, and that really had the more meat to it. There was a few things with the Game Awards.
So I guess we'll just quick cover the Game Awards stuff, because that's a little shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we now know that Telltale's Season 3 will be debuting shortly.
Yes.
Sometime very soon.
And it launches with 2 episodes at once.
It's a very interesting choice. I guess that's a good idea.
The other thing to note with Telltale, well, there's another announcement, but the thing to note with Batman, by the time you're listening to this, Batman they actually fulfilled it. They did a Batman episode every month. The 5th and final episode of Batman comes out on Tuesday. Which would have already happened by the time you're listening to this. But now I can download that episode Tuesday. I've got episodes 4 and 5 to play. So if you see that Batman Telltale disc for $15, go ahead and get it now. You still get it $7.50 cheaper than my PlayStation Plus pre-order price, and you can download all the episodes will be available to download by Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a huge improvement of their previous seasons.
And then we've got the season 3 with 2 episodes at the start.
Yep. Some at least cameos by Clementine.
Well, she's one of the 2 main characters.
Oh, she is? Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's hope they don't screw it up like they did season 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's her and this new character, Javier.
Right.
New Frontier takes place 4 years after the zombie plague began. But you play one part of the first episode is a flashback, where it's right when everything's happening. It's from Javier's family's perspective.
Okay, so I guess they're just establishing his character.
Yes.
All right. Also in Telltale news, as if this should come as any surprise, they're making a Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Well, they announced that they were doing a Marvel game 2 E3s ago, I think.
I mean, we knew they were going to make Marvel games as soon as they did Batman.
Well, no, it came out a couple of years ago. They said we're in a partnership with Marvel, but we never heard what the game was. And then, then the Batman thing came out. And then a month ago, it got leaked that it was going to be, or a month or a week before this, it got leaked that it was going to be Guardians of the Galaxy game. And that rumor ended up being proved correct.
Indeed. So, yeah, like I said, it should come as absolutely no surprise because they're doing literally every kind of game possible.
Yeah.
If it's a license, they're probably going to do something for it.
Marvel announced in April 2015 that it was working with Telltale on multiple games, the first of which was due out in 2017. Telltale's announcement confirms a report from early November about a Guardians of the Galaxy game. So.
Well, there you go.
There's nothing specific about the timing, so it's unclear if it'll premiere anywhere near the second film, which hits beginning of May of 2017. I
have to imagine it'll be close to then.
There's also no word on whether the members of the film's cast will reprise their roles for the game.
I mean, it would be nice, just because they personify their characters in the movie really well.
Yeah.
All right. Also revealed during the awards show as well, Shovel Knight is getting a prequel.
Yep. Let's see. Where's that? And Spectre of Torment.
Yeah. I think I heard that it was going to be essentially how the Knights of the Order of No Quarter got formed.
Yeah, it features the villainous Spectre Knight. Players work to establish the Order of No Quarter, the evil group that fights against Shovel Knight in the main game.
Yeah. Alright, so there's that. Then we also got news of...
And it's free. It's a free download for anyone that has Shovel Knight.
Oh, okay. That's even crazier.
Oh, no. Sorry. They're talking about Plague of Shadows. I don't know. This may not be free.
I think this is a full game, so I don't think it would be free.
Okay. Sorry. I misread what the Polygon person had here.
Alright. Also announced during the stream of the awards, we now know what former BioWare and Blizzard devs are doing. They're creating a brand new PC RPG called The Dauntless, coming out in 2017. They had a trailer. Looks okay. Not really anything to say at the moment, though.
New add-on for Rocket League came out this week.
Yeah, that's not really surprising considering how much they're supporting Rocket League at this point. Also revealed a brand new trailer for Prey 2. A little bit more gameplay on it.
It's officially Prey. I thought they just called it Prey now. It's not...
Yeah, they're calling it Prey. For some reason, this news story calls it Prey 2. I don't know. Technically, it is the second Prey game, even though it's a reboot.
Yeah.
From the ground up.
Right.
But, yeah, brand new trailer. A lot more atmosphere, a lot of creepy.
New trailer for Breath of the Wild.
Yep. Brand new trailer for Mass Effect, revealing actual gameplay.
Yes, the first gameplay trailer.
For Mass Effect Andromeda, yes, indeed. Actual gameplay, finally. Yes. Now we know what's going to be happening in the game. Some interesting designs for some of the characters. Mm-hmm. According to you, though, apparently the female lead character was maybe a little young.
She just looks way younger. I don't know what her age is supposed to be. I
don't know.
Kept up. She just looks like a little kid.
I don't know. She looks like she's in her 20s to me, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really not a good judge of character for ages.
Yeah.
We also got first word of a brand new remake of Bulletstorm coming out called Bulletstorm Full Clip.
Yay! And it's $60 digitally! Yay!
Yeah, it's the first game it's Bulletstorm just up-resed and for brand new consoles.
Plus added in Duke Nukem, as if the game could be even more juvenile.
Yeah, they apparently just thought that having Duke Nukem in it was a good idea. I don't know.
Halo Wars 2 trailer revealed the villain of the game, and the other thing that came out and made me switch from a physical to a digital pre-order of Halo Wars 2 Ultimate. If you pre-order the digital version of Halo Wars 2, which, yes, that means you have to pay it all up front, I know, yada, yada, yada. The definitive edition of the game you will get the week before Christmas, instead of having to wait till Halo Wars 2's release.
Yes, and that's Halo Wars, the original.
Yes, the definitive edition of the original. So that caused me to cancel my pre-order of the physical one and switch it to a digital.
I mean, it's not a bad bonus.
Yeah.
Get the first game for free.
Remade, yes.
Then we also had the brand new teaser trailer for Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And it featured not only Guillermo del Toro, but also Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, so...
And every friggin' second of that trailer, I'm shouting at the screen, what is this game supposed to be? What is this supposed to be? Because none of it is making any sense. So I don't know. It's just straight CG. It's nothing that would reveal any kind of gameplay. So I don't know. It has something to do with little tiny fetuses inside of giant tubes that keep them alive or something? I don't know. It just makes no sense. I don't know. And the one big takeaway from the actual awards, I would have to say, is the overall Game of the Year winner, Overwatch.
Which didn't win like any other award it was nominated for.
Yeah, but actually to be nominated for as many of the awards that it was...
Oh, I'm sorry, multiplayer. It did get Best Multiplayer.
Because, yeah, it is literally the definitive point of what that game is about, is the multiplayer. But the fact that it won straight up, flat out Game of the Year is kind of crazy in its own. That it is a straight, nothing but multiplayer game. Winning in Game of the Year award. Yeah. Granted, it is a really, really good game, but you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of the other awards that happened aren't quite as prominent, obviously.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I've got a link here I can give you. We'll just give the link out, or you could go watch it. Maybe even the YouTube version, which helps sponsor this, won't be muted anymore, like it was the day after this aired.
Well, you'll have to send me a link for that, and I can put it in the show notes.
Yeah, there's a list of winners.
Okay. All right, and now let's switch over to the PlayStation Experience 2016 for a lot more of the actual news.
Yes.
And boy, oh boy, did they have a lot of stuff to announce. Uncharted 4 is getting a brand new add-on chapter, which can be played even if you don't own the full Uncharted 4 game. It's going to be called The Lost Legacy.
And this is also the long-awaited, if you bought the Season Pass or whatever they call it now, the Season Pass at launch, which has a different name now. If you bought that, you already own this.
Indeed. It's going to star Chloe Frazer and Nadine Ross from the main games.
Well, yeah, Nadine was in the new character in 4. Chloe was primarily in 2. She had a brief role in 3, but she's best known for her role in 2. And it sounds like it's the same voice actress for 2.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
Also from Naughty Dog, we got official confirmation that Last of Us Part 2 is coming. And it's gonna be Ellie and Joel again.
Well, Ellie's the main character, so these open and close the show. They opened the show with Uncharted, and but one more thing. This is really early, but they wanted to show something. This is our one more thing. Is Last of Us Part 2. Now that's a distinct, this isn't The Last of Us 2, this is Last of Us Part 2, as in like Godfather, how they numbered those.
Right.
Ellie is back. She is the main character. This is set a few years in the future. She's visibly older. The trailer is completely, in-game, real-time rendered cutscene where it opens up, foreboding music. She's trying to play this guitar and tune it up, and she starts singing this song, and you see images of this outpost in the wilderness, and you see the Firefly emblem, and carved into a tree and painted onto an old stop sign. And you see Joel walking into this house as she's playing, and there's just people, you assume fireflies or whatever, just murdered everywhere. And then the trailer ends with a very brief conversation between Joel and Ellie, and then boom, title.
So hopefully they didn't fall into the same trap that I'm afraid they fell into, and they keep it fresh.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Speaking of falling into the same traps again and again, Marvel vs. Capcom 4 actually has a working title now. It's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and it's official.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like that this is more of a remake of the original. It's back to 2v2 instead of 3v3. You have the different Infinity Gems that give you different powers depending on which gem you pick for your team. And the cinematic trailer that showed ended with a shadowy foreboding figure, which pretty much seems to be Thanos. And this is going to be tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe storyline, seemingly, in that it's all about the Infinity Stones.
Yes, the Infinity War is coming soon.
And not only that, but the Marvel side of the cast is rumored to be heavily influenced by the movies, i.e. good luck seeing any X-Men in it.
Exactly. Though we might see some Spider-Man.
Well, yeah. Who's not an X-Man, but yes, Marvel has the movie relationship now with Sony, so you could see Spider-Man, but your chances of seeing Magneto, Storm, Psylocke, Wolverine, Magneto, Cyclops, Cable, some of the core characters of the Marvel vs. Capcom series, they are likely not to be there.
And that's unfortunate. But if you still want your X-Men fix, we also had news that Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is coming back to the marketplaces.
Which, it's already out on PlayStation 4, and this is significant because this game has been missing for 3 years. For the last 3 years, if you wanted this game, you had to go hunt down a physical copy. It debuted that day on the PlayStation Store. It is coming out in March to PC and Xbox, and GameStop is doing an exclusive run of a physical copy of the game for PS4 and Xbox One, also in March.
So, I guess my only question is it going to be backwards compatible?
No.
Or is it straight up, no, it's just brand new disc?
It's brand new disc.
Well, that's unfortunate because I still have my original Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 disc.
Well, and I own the game digitally. But yeah, it seems like this is going to be treated as like Dishonored or whatever, where you're going to have to buy the new one.
Yep. All right. Also announced coming next year is Crash Bandicoot: The Insane Trilogy that no one should care about because it's old and looks awful.
Oh, whatever. There's people that grew up. There's people younger than you and I. These are the games they grew up with.
Yes, and I'm sad that they had to grow up on second-rate platformers that are not that great.
They're fine. They're not Mario, but they're fine.
They're not even Sonic.
Oh, come on now.
I'll say Sonic was better than Crash Bandicoot by a long shot. Yeah, no, I'll say it. I'll say it right here.
Fine.
In actual good news, Windjammers is coming back for PS4 and PS Vita.
Yes.
The old school Neo Geo game, Pixel Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see about that netcode, because this team that's been doing these SNK games does not have the best record on netcode, but they supposedly have the Windjammers French, group that holds like legit esports tournaments for it. I watched video of that. They have legitimate tournaments in France for this game. So
yep, they've had them coming by the offices just to test the game out.
Yep.
So hopefully they're gonna help make sure that game is actually 100% perfect.
Yep.
Including that netcode, because that's gonna make or break the game.
Yeah. I will get it regardless, but yes, that's gonna make or break it.
Well, it's gonna make or break the online portion, and the fact that they want to make it an esport again.
Yeah.
So we'll see. In news that no one wanted and didn't know was coming anyway, we're getting a Knack 2?
This is, you're not connected to like the PlayStation side of things. This had become like a joke in the PlayStation community about Knack and all this stuff. And this is more of an in-joke with like the kind of funny type, podcast beyond crowds about Knack. And Sony, I think, may be falling for some of that, and also how well it sold at launch. Well, this was really the only family game at launch.
Kind of still one of the only family games, period, for a PS4.
Well, no, you have all your Lego games, which are all better.
I said one of.
Yeah.
There's not that many family-friendly games. Let's be honest.
Yeah, not at retail. Be correct. That's a thing that's happening. It's got 2-player co-op now.
Yeah. So now you can have double the not fun?
You skipped over a couple of things. Let It Die. The Suda51 Grasshopper game that's just been kind of in the ether.
Yeah, that's out now. It's free to play.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I skipped it, because it's out now. It's free to play.
Yeah. Well, Jeff talked about it on Jeff Gerstmann talked about it on the Giant Bombcast this week, and it seems interesting. I need to try it. I have it downloaded. I just haven't booted it up yet. But
right, but that's why I avoided having to worry about it, because we are kind of crunched for time now.
Oh, we're okay. We're okay. And I mean, Resident Evil 7 demo, if you haven't booted it up yet, trigger an update on it, because there's been another update to it. And we got another Horizon Zero Dawn trailer that looks really good.
I mean, they can't make me any more hype for this game. I already love it.
A bunch of old Sony series are getting remastered. Wipeout, the previous 3 Wipeout games are all getting remastered into one bundle. Also, the original Parappa the Rapper, Loco Roco, and Patapons are getting remastered.
Pon, Patapon, Patapon. Yes, Patapon. God, I need some Patapon in my life.
Yeah, you and Greg Miller both. I got that first game, it didn't click with me.
Oh, just that rhythm that they have with that game. Oh, it's so just enjoyable. And
there is a demo for Parappa that's available. I've got it downloaded. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, it's out now.
Oh, the demo.
Yeah, the demo.
Something else that came out that day, the PS4 cross-buy Vita release of Lara Croft Go.
Yes, indeed. Another one of the incredibly popular and really, really well done Go series of games.
Yep. Akuma highlights the beginning of the second year of extra characters for Street Fighter V. He comes out December 20th. He's supposedly followed by 5 characters who are brand new. So they're adding 5 brand new, never before playable characters. And that's your Season 2 pass of Street Fighter V.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they still haven't really gotten their actual online store up and running, so...
Yeah, they have.
I don't know.
Yes,
Did they actually get the full online pay money store?
Yes, everything is... You didn't listen to Giant Bombcast, I guess, this week, because they talked about this on there, too.
I don't know, I miss the fact that they mentioned anything about the actual online pay store.
Yes, like Dan...
I know they have their in-game store for spending your fight money.
Dan basically shot, and Jason's like, yes, everything's in there. Arcade, story mode, everything's in there.
Okay.
Yes.
Shows how much attention I'm paying to Street Fighter V because, everyone's all pissy about it.
Well, it's not on your system either.
I know, but also everyone's been really pissy about it, considering.
Alright, so Yakuza 6 and the remake of the original Yakuza are on their way to PS4 in the West, with the remake coming 2017 and Yakuza 6 in 2018.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Danganronpa version 3 is getting a simultaneous PS4 and Vita release in 2017, and they're also releasing the first 2 games on PS4.
Yes, the third one is going to be called Killing Harmony.
Yes, and there's Makoto Cubs now, or however you pronounce that bear's name. He's got cubs now, so...
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah.
But alright, sure.
Well, they introduced the female one in the second game, so... Now you...
I have not watched the anime, so I don't know. Nor have I read any of the mangas. New Ni no Kuni 2 trailer. Yes. Oh man, that looks good.
Slow Clap and Devolver Digital are bringing out a new multiplayer combat role-playing game called Absolver.
Mm-hmm.
Starblood Arena is coming out for PlayStation VR.
Well, let's skip to the actual one that matters. They're bringing back Ace Combat, and it's going to be Ace Combat 7.
Yeah, I mean, this got announced last year, but we just a new trailer for it, and it does have PlayStation VR full support. But, yeah.
Oh boy, that's going to be a roller coaster.
Yep.
Let's hope that doesn't cause too many people to get too sick.
Yeah. It'll be the show 17. They showed some gameplay of that. And they also ended the trailer that apparently the game is going to have a retro mode that looks stylistically like Ken Griffey Jr. from the Super Nintendo. So there's going to be a retro mode in the game that plays like that. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Ys Origins, which got an English PC localization a few years ago, is coming to PlayStation 4 and Vita in February. That appears to be a digital release only.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Ys. I don't know that they could potentially expense printing the discs.
Yeah. Well, / carts for Vita, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Resogun creators Housemarque and Eugene Javis of Defender, Smash TV, Total Carnage fame are teaming up to make a new shooter for PS4, Nex Machina.
I don't know.
Dreadnought, which is a massively multiplayer space combat game, is coming to PS4 next year. I will have a beta invite because I did the Sony themed things to get the invite.
Okay.
Gravity Rush 2 will get a free DLC expansion in a couple months after release, where you play as Raven, the dark-haired girl, the other female character, which was an antagonist in the first game, and teams up, I think, alongside you in the second game, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, because the game's not out yet.
And Nier Automata, the Square Enix /
it's the follow-up to the 2010 Nier RPG.
Right, but this is developed by Bayonetta people. Gosh darn it.
Platinum?
Platinum, yes. It's coming out March 7th.
Yes.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
And they showed a bunch of indie games in a trailer with no names attached to any of them, other than I recognize Nidhogg 2 from the gameplay. But
yeah.
There was a bunch of others they showed, but you have no idea what they.
All right. Yeah, there's really not much else big news-wise other than those. So I'm going to say that's it for the news.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything else.
No, I mean, we covered everything major from there. And
all right, well, then I guess that's a show.
Yeah.
Because we kind of don't really have much else, because I didn't play anything new.
Yeah, I mean, I played, a few new things, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's just updates for me at the moment, because there's so many multiplayer games that needed my attention.
Right.
I'll have more to talk about, obviously, once I get into the Dawning event for the next episode.
Yeah.
So that'll be a little bit of Destiny news beyond the announcement of the news. Can't wait for those 2 new racing tracks. Just 2 brand new tracks. So that's just 4 tracks total. Yay. Yeah. Anyway. Alright, before I bring the show down too much with my sadness for the fact that there's only 2 new tracks, how about we end the show right here? That's going to do it for this week, where you can follow us online on Twitter at Checkmate Arcade. And if you want to follow us individually, it's at Dark Boss Man for me.
At MSU Hitman for me.
If you want to subscribe to the show, you can do so through iTunes or the Groove Music Marketplace as well. Just look us up, Checkmate Arcade, 2 words.
Also, Stitcher Radio app.
Yes, and if you want to listen to us on the go, you can listen to us through your smartphone through the Stitcher Radio application. We are also on Facebook if you'd like to catch any news that we post there as well. That's Checkmate Arcade, 2 words. And I think that's going to do it for the episode, because I think that covers everything that we usually cover at the end of the show. So I have been 1 step away with literal boots from max level on my light level character. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
And catching a cold and getting ready to go to the Anheuser-Busch brewery that's going to have an ice skating rink that I'm going to have to stand next to instead, not a smart thing that's happening tonight, but, whatever. I'm MSU Hitman, Jason Billingsley.
We all do weird things.
Yeah.
So, good luck, friend. Keep yourself as warm as you can.
Thank you.
Alright, and maybe we'll see you on live PSN, and maybe even on the net.
Peace out, everybody.